They say an invisible hand guides the world's economies. But what if that hand isn't invisible at all? What if it belongs to a select group, operating from behind the marble facades of institutions that hold the keys to our financial lives? They work in the shadows, their decisions echoing through every transaction, every loan, every price tag you see. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's the story of the quiet, immense power wielded by central banks. Scene change. Noir-style visuals of shadowy figures in a boardroom. Cut to an old, imposing bank vault door, slowly creaking open, revealing stacks of gold bars dimly lit. From the outside, their role seems straightforward, almost mundane. They are the guardians of stability, the public face of economic management. We see their grand, imposing headquarters, the Federal Reserve in Washington, the European Central Bank in Frankfurt, the Bank of England in London. We hear their governors speak in measured tones about interest rates and quantitative easing. We see the tangible results of their work. Fresh banknotes rolling off industrial printing presses designed to keep the gears of commerce turning smoothly. Their stated mission is to control inflation, to keep prices from spiraling out of control, and to prevent the kind of financial chaos that can bring nations to their knees. It's a necessary, respectable, and very public duty. Scene change. Quick cuts of central bank buildings, Federal Reserve, ECB, Bank of England. Close-up shots of currency being printed and stacked. But beneath this veneer of public service lies a far more complex and potent set of tools, the hidden levers of economic control. One of their most powerful instruments is the money multiplier effect. It begins with a simple action. The central bank adjusts the reserve requirement, the fraction of deposits that commercial banks must hold. By lowering this requirement, they don't just add money to the system, they multiply it. A single dollar deposited can become 10 or 20, rippling through the economy as banks lend it out again and again. This entire process, a cascade of credit creation, is often invisible to the average person. Furthermore, central banks are masters of psychology. A carefully worded statement, a subtle change in tone, can send shockwaves through global markets. A hint of optimism can ignite a bull run. A whisper of concern can trigger a sell-off. They don't just manage money, they manage expectations, shaping the collective mood of traders and investors who hang on their every word. Scene change, animations showing a single dollar being deposited in a bank, which then lends out a portion which is deposited elsewhere, creating a chain reaction. Cut to visuals of stressed traders reacting to news tickers and charts. The influence of these institutions doesn't stop at national borders. In our interconnected world, a decision made in one capital city can create powerful ripples across the globe. When the US Federal Reserve raises its interest rates, it's not just an American affair. Suddenly, borrowing in US dollars becomes more expensive everywhere. Capital flows out of emerging markets and floods back to the United States, strengthening the dollar but putting immense pressure on other economies. A domino effect is triggered. Currencies fluctuate, international trade balances shift, and countries thousands of miles away are forced to react, often with painful adjustments of their own. It's a global chess game where central banks are the grandmasters, and their moves can determine the economic fate of billions. Scene change, an animated map of the world. A pulse emanates from the USA, sending waves across the globe. Currency symbols, Pedro Vientres, rise and fall in a domino-like sequence. This immense concentration of power, held by a small, unelected group of technocrats, has guided us through financial crises and periods of prosperity. But it also raises profound questions. In an era of digital currencies, growing inequality, and unprecedented global challenges, will this model of centralized control endure? As we stand on the precipice of a new economic age, one must wonder, who should truly hold the power to shape our collective future? And what happens if they get it wrong? Scene change. A final wide shot of a lone figure silhouetted against a window, looking out over a vast, glittering cityscape at twilight.